welcome once again to another episode of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the show that brings the questions that you should be asking and brings the answers that you need to know so that you can make more informed decisions for both you and your family. Today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Joseph Leonard. Mr. Leonard, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joseph Leonard. I am a gospel evangelist. And what I do, I got acquainted with the Bible, and I found the way that the Bible tells us to really get our physical health, spiritual health, and mental health through the pages of the Bible. I am not a doctor, so I will not be able to give you any prescriptions, deal give any counseling, but all I can give you is the word of God and how God instructs us to really find health.
Thank you for that. So there is a word called medical missionary. Would you say that that's what you are?
Yes.
Okay, what is the difference between a medical missionary and a traditional medical doctor?
The difference is simple. A missionary evangelist, a medical missionary evangelist, will go deeper into the health of someone. When someone comes to you, you don't only try to find a way to heal that person physically. You will do with the help of the Holy Spirit to bring that person also to God. Because the way that Christ teaches when he was on earth, he also not only he gives you the physical, but he also heals you spiritually. And if you were down mentally, he tried to raise you up and give you hope. So following the step of Christ is exactly what we do as a gospel medical missionary evangelist.
Okay, thank you. For brief translation, nous avons M. Joseph Léonard avec nous aujourd'hui. Il dit que il pas un docteur, mais ils sont un missionnaire médical. Avec ça, à travers la Bible, il est capable d'aider nous pour que nous capables de une réponse pour une série de maladies que nous gagnons. Encore une fois, il n'est pas un docteur, mais il aide nous selon la Bible. Um, I knew you at one point to be about 300 pounds. Okay, you remember that.
Yes.
And I saw that you've lost a lot of weight. How did you manage to do that?
Let me tell you the story about it. In 2001, when I had my first child, as I was sleeping, I used to suffer a lack of breath. That means I used to wake up in the middle of the night because I felt that I was gonna die. And one day it really bothers me because my wife was really young at that time. She was like 24. And I saw my daughter only 3 months. And I said to myself, I cannot live like that. Not only I cannot live like that, but if I die and leave my wife by herself and leave my daughter fatherless, this is not a good thing to do. Then that night I took a decision to change my life. And from that decision, I woke up in the morning and I said, I have to do something. But naturally, I don't like to go to the doctors. I don't like when they poke you and put the needle in you. So that's something personal. And I said, the fact that I don't like that, let me do my own research to see how can I find a solution for what I find out it's called sleep apnea, because I didn't know what it was. So I went to Google and I do research, and I found out that I was suffer with sleep apnea, which is simple to define. Is when you overweight, you have some extra flesh in your throat, and when you sleep, this prevents you to breathe, and that can lead to death. That can lead to Alzheimer's. That can lead to a lot of sickness. So I had to do something for me to change my life at that time.
So, nous tendez, mes amis, moun qui réellement gros les abdomen, yo gon problème qui est le sleep apnea, c'est une maladie qui rend que ou pas qu'à dormir. Et l'abdomen ou senti qu'on a tout fait. C'est parce qu'on a extra flèche dans cou qui dans gorge qui permet que ou pas qu'à prendre souffle. So what did you do? How did you lose all this weight?
All right, so how I was doing my research, and the research came to a point where the fact that I was obese was the main reason for me to suffer sleep apnea. So I started to look for ways to lose weight. And as I told you, I didn't want to go to the traditional way. Then as I was doing research, way before I became a missionary, gospel missionary evangelist, and I find out that if someone stopped eating for one day, you can lose 3,500 calories. 3,500 calories is about a pound. So I said to myself, I can lose a pound a day. But when I do the traditional research, they told me that it's not safe to lose more than 2 to 3 pounds in a week. So I love your show. When you told me to come here, I said, this is an opportunity for me to teach people that you have to do your own research. See? So I found out that I could lose 7 pounds a day. And I said,
A week?
a week. So I said, I'm going to go for it. Then I start fasting on water. It was water fasting. And to tell you the truth, Maggie, I lost 45 pounds in 40 days.
Wow. 45 pounds in 40 days.
Yes,
Wow. That is extraordinary.
yes.
Wow. Did you suffer any other illnesses because of your weight problem?
Yes, I used to suffer with hypertension, diabetes, and other complications.
Okay.
But as I was fasting, it, those sickness also, it was amazing to see that I was not suffer anymore with hypertension, and the diabetes symptom also disappeared. So by looking for sleep apnea, the problem that I had originally, I killed many birds with one stone.
Wow. That is extraordinary. We often tend to think that headaches, fevers, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all those other illnesses are all sicknesses or illnesses, but you see things differently. You see them as symptoms. Why is that?
Okay. Um, you know, God is so merciful that He created us in a way that He put alarms in us. The same way when you want to wake up in the morning, you set an alarm, and at 4 o'clock the alarm wakes you up. God also had some natural alarms in us. Let me give you one example, Maggie. If someone pinches you, you will feel a pain in the area that that person is pinching you.
Correct.
It's an alarm. Your body is telling you someone is hurting you. Because if God did not create a way for us to recognize these, someone would take a knife and cut our finger. We would not even know that someone is hurting us. Pain is a good thing, in a sense. It's telling you, hey, be cautious, something is wrong. Now we're going to take the same idea and transfer it into the symptoms of our sickness, okay? What I found out in my studies, way before I became a gospel medical missionary evangelist, that what we call illness, sickness, are really symptoms. It's our body telling us something is wrong. You did not take care of me for a long time. Take some time. Think about me. This is why David says in Psalm 139 that God has created us as a marvelous creature. That means we can think for ourselves. So our body is telling us we must do something about it.
You're preaching now.
That's what I do.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking,
Yes.
Mr. Leonard, how did you do your fasting?
um, I did 40 days of water fasting. It was not easy when I started because, you know, the natural habit kicked off because I used to eat more than 3 times a day. Okay, now to just stop eating, my body wanted to go to the old man, to the old manner. But when when I set a goal to reach, I do my best to reach it. So I had my wife and my kids as the rabbit that I was following. You know, those racing dogs. So I didn't want to let them down. So I did the fasting. It was not easy, but after the 4 days, my body went into a starvation mode. my body said to itself, okay, he's not going to eat. That's for sure. He has not fed, he didn't feed me for 4 days. So my body says, all right, I'm going to go to starvation mode and I'm going to start feeding myself from the fat that I stored. Let me explain myself. When you eat, the food that you eat is transformed into calories. The unused calories, your body has to store it. And your body stores those calories as fat. And it goes into your tissues, it goes into your cells. And this is how you gain weight because your body didn't know what to do with those calories, transform them into fat and store them for you.
Okay, all right. You said that you did the water fast.
Yes.
Now, I know that we've heard of the Daniel fast and other fasts. How many different types of fasts are there actually?
Um, I'm gonna name a few. You have the water fasting. You have the Daniel fast, which only for 10 days. They take this from Daniel chapter 1 when Daniel told his master, "Try us for 10 days. Give us pulse, which is legume, and water for 10 days." And the Bible says at the end of those 10 days, they were looking fatter and fairer than the other people. Now, they also have what we call the intermittent fasting, which is that someone can choose a gap, a segment in the day to eat. Let's say someone said, I want to eat from 8 in the morning to 1 o'clock. That's 5 hours. And then for 19 hours, I will fast. Because once you stop eating for 8 hours, your body now it goes to fasting. And then also the last one that I have done is also dry fasting, where we don't eat and you don't drink at all.
Okay. There are about 40 scriptures in the Bible that talks about fasting. Now, when you mention fasting, if someone says, well, I'm not going to eat for an hour, would that be considered as a form of fasting? Or maybe even 2 hours? Would that be considered as a form of fasting?
Not really, because your body takes 5 to 6 hours to digest the food.
Okay.
Okay, which means if you eat at 9 o'clock in the morning, your body will take 5 to 6 hours to digest the food. From 9 to 12, that's 3 hours. Another 2 or 3 hours brings you to 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is when you are able to take your second meal. So 1 or 2 hours not eating during the day after a meal is not considered as fasting. It's the gap in which your body takes time to digest the food. And to tell the truth, Maggie, this is where everything gets complicated because we are told to eat 3 full meals or also 6 times a day. Now, if we understand that our body takes 5 to 6 hours to digest the food, let's build a scenario here. Let's say you eat at 8 o'clock before you go to work, and then you take your first break at 10:30 at work, and you drink a coffee or you eat your Dunkin' Donut. The food that you eat at 8:30, your body is digesting the food, and it's not done yet. Now, when you eat your snacks at 10:30, your body has to stop the digesting process that it was doing with the breakfast. Now to go and digest the snack. The food now that you ate at 8:30 stays there in your body and start fermenting. Now you go at 12:30 now for your lunch. Your body also has to stop the second process to go and has to stop the second process to go and start the third process. Now you have 2 full meals in your body. And then you eat your dinner at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Your body never rests. The digestion is never done in your stomach. So for the whole day, you have 4 full meals fighting with each other. And when you do that for a period of time, you will become constipated. And constipation is the mother of all sickness. Diabetes, prostate, hypertension, all these sickness, mostly headache, is the result of constipation. Those are the answers that if you will not find if you don't look for yourself. If you don't look for yourself, you will not find these answers. They're not available really easy when you go to a medical facility.
Traditional doctor. So for brief translation, once again, nous apprenons aujourd'hui que pour moun perdu en livre, il faut que li brûle 3500 calories. So, si que on moun fait un jour que il pas manger, il perdu 1 livre par jour. So, Joseph perdu 45 livres, 45 pounds in 40 days. 45 livres dans 40 jours, parce qu'il fait 40 jours qu'il n'a pas mangé, qui veut dire qu'il a perdu un peu plus que 1 livre par jour. Et il fait nous connaître tout que lui-même il boit de l'eau, il boit de l'eau pendant 40 jours ça yo. Et là que on mange, alright, là on mange, il faut que mon nan corps au moins 5 à 6 heures de temps pour que manger soit capable de digérer. Si que manger n'est pas digéré, les chita ont côté dans le corps. So, les gens al manger encore, premier manger que moun te manger, chita, pour qu'on capable de commencer un nouvel process, pour process deuxième manger que moun a mangé. So, nous voyons que là que nous mangeons breakfast qui veut dire ou couper face là, pendant que nous avons dormi, c'est fasting que nous fasting, ok? So, là nous mangeons breakfast, comme il a dit, ça supposé prendre au moins 5 à 6 heures de temps pour manger en digéré. So, si nous prenons snack à 10 heures, tandis que nous mangeons breakfast à 7 heures, snack là, pas bail breakfast là, assez de temps pour le digérer. Qui veut dire breakfast obligé camper, digestion, process digestion obligé camper pour breakfast pour que capable de digérer snack là. Et c'est comme ça tout nous accumuler poids que nous accumuler on encore nous de ce fait nous venons gagner et constipation, nous venons souffrir constipation, avec constipation nous venons gagner tension, nous fait tension, nous fait cholestérol, nous avons tête fait mal tout le temps, OK? So juste parce que nous pas manger assez de temps pour que les digérer dans corps nous. Let me ask you, you mentioned diabetes, hypertension, and others. How does fasting help with diabetes exactly?
It's simple. Let's deal first with diabetes. Let's explain how someone become diabetic. Really simple so that people can understand. Everything that we eat, our body has to transform it into glucose, which is the simplest way simplest form sugar can be in nature. All right. Now, once the food that you eat become sugar, become glucose, your pancreas has to secrete insulin. And the insulin now, it's helping the glucose to travel through your bloodstream and to go into your cells. And this is how you get nourished. This is how, because the glucose will bring oxygen and nourishment for the cells. Now, how someone get diabetes is when the cells are filled up with fat, the storage calories that the overflow of calories that your body transforms into fat, it goes and store it into your cells, go and store it into your tissues. Now, when the cells are filled up with animal fat, now the glucose cannot enter the cells to go and nourish your cells. It stays in your bloodstream. That's why when you poke yourself with the device that they give you to control your blood sugar level, you see that your blood sugar is 120, 175, 350, 450. Sometimes it's out of range. It's because the food that you eat cannot get into your cells. It stays into your bloodstream. Now, if you want to reverse that, that's why when I was doing the water fasting, my body says, Joseph will not eat, so now let me take the reserve that I was storing for this time of starvation. So my body started to eat the fat from my cells, eat the fat from my tissues, and now the fact that I didn't have those fat to clog up my cells, now I went from being a diabetic to a non-diabetic because the food that I was eating now can find their ways into my cells. And it goes also for hypertension and all the sickness, because constipation is the mother of all sickness.
Okay, now when it comes to fat, we know that there are two types of fats. We know we have the animal fats and we have the healthy fats. So when it comes to fat, as far as the animal fats are concerned, we know that a lot of people, they can't live without their eggs, you know, without their fried chicken, correct? They can't live without their beef stew, you know, especially when it comes to soup or legumes, they have to put all that meat in there, the animal fat. So is that, would that play a factor into the weight gain, thus causing the constipations and all the other sicknesses that you mentioned, or symptoms that you mentioned?
In Matthew chapter 9, verse 17, precisely, Christ says you cannot put new wine in the old bottle. So when I became a gospel medical missionary evangelist, I understood what I was doing. By not eating, I was cleaning the old pot. So when I put the new wine in it, which is the food, now the pot can really use the new wine that I was putting in it. Now, you know, as a human being, we produce our own cholesterol. Okay, it's something natural. We need cholesterol to survive. Now, the danger is when you eat, example, beef. Okay, it's a mammal, just us, and that the beast has their own cholesterol. So when you're eating the meat and you're eating anything, any dairy product, you indulge their own cholesterol. And it comes in addition to your
That's
own
powerful.
cholesterol.
Wow.
So that's why you have your normal cholesterol. So when you go to the doctor, they say you suffer with high cholesterol. It's the surplus that you are taking from the animal. That's what gives you the high cholesterol. And then the high cholesterol, now it goes into your arteries and clogged up your arteries. Now you suffer with high blood pressure. Now the thing is, now when your heart is forcing the blood to go through your arteries, because if your limbs are not receiving enough blood, they will rotten, and you're gonna go in amputation. So you don't want this. Your body doesn't want that to happen to you. So your heart is forcing the blood to go through the arteries to go supply oxygen and nutrition for your limbs. Now sometimes the arteries, they cracked. Now here comes the cholesterol in your body. Now your body says, I have a tear in the arteries. Your cholesterol is like something will patch the crack. So your body produces cholesterol that goes into your vein now to repair the arteries, and now now you get like a clash between the fat that you're consuming with your own cholesterol, make the way that your blood has to go through even narrower, and instead of having a relief with your high blood pressure, it become worse. Now, if you don't eat for a while, I know it's not easy. When I say that, sometimes say he makes it sound so easy, but where there is a will, there is a way.
Yes.
You may start with 1 day. You can start with 2 days. Okay. There's another way also. You can do fasting. You eat today. You eat every other day. Okay, if you cannot do 3 days straightforward. So if you do, once you do that, your body will start using the fat that it has accumulated over the years, and this will give you relief from your diabetes, hypertension, and many of the sickness that you suffer.
Okay, so translation again. Pour moun ki reme viande yo, bet lan li gen cholesterol pal ke l pote, li gen fat pal ke l pote. So lè ke nou manje viande yo ou bet yo, ok, et nous nettoyer moi en façon d'une autre nous relè le viande, mais c'est bête, on bête que li, son animal que li. Là nous manger animal là, sur toute graisse qui dans animal là, OK, bin contré avec graisse qui dans corps qu'on y a en terre côté poussant passé hein, li vin qu'on y a li vin gen trop fat la donne. So, sans pas qu'à faire, li pas qu'à passer, gens que t'a supposé passer. Hein. De ce fait, nous venons gagner problème dans l'artère nous venons gagner problème tension et autres maladies. So, si que nous t'es qu'à manger healthy fat yo, par exemple avocat, gagner um,
Noir.
noix, ok, gen pile lot fat qui healthy, qui mieux pour nous capable manger et ventre nous a dit nous merci tout. There is a question that I do have. It is a tad bit taboo, but this show is don't ask, don't tell. So if I don't ask, I know you're not going to tell us. Okay? So with that being said, can fasting help with the issues of erectile dysfunction?
This is a subject mainly in our community as Haitian, which is that subject is taboo. We don't talk about those things. A man can suffer this for years, but will not try to find help because this will affect his manhood. I'm so happy for your show that I can say something about it. It's the same process, Maggie. The same fat that goes and clogs your arteries, they also go and clog the little vein that that are the conduit for the blood to get into your penis. When you were young, in your 18, you were 18, 20, when you have an erection, it's a very strong and hard erection. But when you become older, in your 30s, in your 40s, it's not as strong as it was before. And then you go and find help with the purple pill and all those folk remedies that Haitians have to solve this problem. When you do that, you only address the symptoms, not the cause. Okay, the cause of it is the veins are clogged up with fat. Okay, now if you stop eating or if you do a cleansing into your body and get rid of those fat, also not only you will get rid of the fat in your arteries, the fat in your tissues, in your cells, you get rid also of the fat in your penis area, and this
Okay.
will uh, um, increase the blood flow naturally in your penis. Then you will get the strength that you used to have when you were young, not into indulging drugs and all these. Just by restraining yourself a couple of days from eating can do that for you.
Oh, wow, that's great information. I do have one last question. What would you say is a common mistake that people make after fasting?
I did that on my first fast because I didn't know. What caused me to do it is not leaving my wife and my kids, my daughter fatherless. After the first fast, Maggie, I went and indulged in the food that I did not eat for 40 days, which is a mistake. When after a fast, you have to be careful because you stop eating for a certain amount of days. When you go back on eating, you have to do it slowly. The best way to stop your fasting is by drinking juice. You can choose watermelon. You can choose the juice of your choice. You spend 2 or 3 days drinking those juices. Then after that, you can do mashed potatoes, okay, until you eat your regular solid food. And that's the way you get off your fasting.
Thank you so much. We have heard and we have learned a lot today from Mr. Joseph Leonard. We thank you for coming to our show.
It's my pleasure.
And we invite you to come back to our show where you can learn a lot more information so that you can be well informed to make informed decisions for both you and your family. Once again, thank you.